Hello my friends. My name is Bot Mathematician, and this is Hello Mensa. Also welcome daring reporter Dora and Chris.
Hi everyone, as always, we're glad to have you back to do some more math.
We are infinitely grateful
that we have another opportunity to see you all again.
Our infographic about the history of the Fire Festival caused a huge wave of hatred towards us on Reddit.
Some users think our stats are incorrect, as each pack costs 100 gold even if you have most of the collection from the expansion. In addition, players are sure that free portraits are equivalent to 1800 gold, although they don't actually affect the cost of your collection. The most interesting idea was that event rewards flat out don't matter anymore because the rewards track allows players to earn significantly more gold now.
Hearthstone has few types of resources and currencies, but players cannot understand the very simple rules that affect the cost of the game.
Such a fundamental misunderstanding of the economy of the game led us to make this video to eliminate all misconceptions.
And also share with you the reasons why we are completely disappointed with the new rewards track.
Unlike the rest of the Hearthstone community, we weren't really disappointed with the release of the rewards track, as Team 5 did manage to solve a lot of the fundamental mistakes they had with the first concept for it that was sent to players as a survey.
Developers assured us that the progression system would evolve. The speed with which the developers have improved rewards track left us no doubt that the new system will keep getting better, but we were very wrong. As soon as the players realized that the new system was not so bad, any changes stopped.
Unfortunately, the new rewards track is no exception.
The only thing that is gradually changing for the better is the paid tavern pass.
It's worth noting that even in its current form, the rewards track is one of the most ambitious progress systems among digital collectible card games. The main advantages of the system are rewards commensurate with the time spent in the game and a small difference in the amount of rewards for winning and losing. As a rule, systems with battle passes force players to grind most days. If you miss a day, you'll most likely lose some of the benefits of the pass. In Hearthstone, things are a lot different. To complete the track, you just need to complete all of your quests once a week.
Moreover, buying a tavern pass with money does not give you a significant advantage. But the most important thing about the new progression system is its huge potential to solve many very old shortcomings.
At the same time, the balance of free resources for ranked players remained almost the same as the days of coins for victories. You can get 65% of the complete collection of one expansion by performing fairly simple game activities, and this will not require a lot of time from you. But for the remaining 35% of the resources, you will have to suffer or invest real money, about $60 to $80 depending on the amount of time spent in the game. This balance of resources is fair enough.
Of course, we would like to see a different approach, but we fully respect Blizzard's desire to make money, and also understand that maintaining and developing the game requires a huge investment.
So why are we disappointed? The first reason is uneven rewards for different game modes. While the best game studios are trying to create competitors to Hearthstone, Blizzard has turned the game into an entire platform for a lot of different modes, which is unparalleled. Modern Hearthstone is a pipeline of monthly content that's steadily increasing. The game has a huge number of different modes and formats, and they all receive regular support, mostly. We're looking at you, Duels. Every player can find something exciting. Despite this, the size of the rewards for playing in different modes is very uneven.
Competitive modes will give you on average 400 XP per hour at 50% win rate. Other PvP modes will only give 300 XP under the same conditions. There is a certain logic to this decision, since in competitive play, your win rate will gradually decrease. But this decision is extremely unfair to fans of duels, battleground and tavern brawls.
Solo modes deserve a separate place, since the win rate of players in these formats is much higher than in competitive modes. In Mercenaries at 100% win rate, the player is able to get 335 XP per hour, and in Dungeon Run, under the same conditions, the player can only get 250 XP. May I ask why?
The peculiarity of games with the Battle Pass system is the desire of players to maximize profit. This means that some players will spend more time in modes that have an increased rate of progression, which can subsequently lead to a narrowing of the range of interests. This is a very bad approach for a game that positions itself as a full gaming platform.
Separately, it is worth talking about the amount of rewards you get overall. It can be quite tiny for just raw gameplay. 1 hour of playing in ranked will bring you approximately 13 coins. To buy a pack, you'll need to spend at least 7.5 hours in the game without interruption. your time in other modes, you get even less. Thus, if you prefer to play duels, tavern brawls, or casual, the new system will give you far fewer rewards for your efforts than the old system.
The rewards for playing adventure mode are extremely disappointing. Adventure is an important advantage of Hearthstone, since no other popular card game has solo content of this level and in such quantity. But Blizzard seems to deliberately create a barrier to players in this mode. This discrimination is completely absurd given the existence of the AFK grind in Mercenaries.
In our opinion, the only way to avoid discrimination is perfectly equal remuneration, regardless of your interests. It would be great if all PvP modes rewarded players the same amount, including Battlegrounds. PvE modes should also have the same rewards, whether players like to play Mercenaries or Adventure. It won't break the economy of the game, as the reward is too small, but at the same time, players will have more freedom to do what they want.
Hearthstone is sorely lacking in interactions with friends. We have the opportunity to challenge a friend, but you will not receive any reward for the game. Playing with friends could diversify our daily activities. Peeping friends games also does not bring any reward, although these passive actions need at least a meager reward. In the situation of the existence of AFK grind, we do not understand these restrictions.
Another drawback is technical limitations. According to our observations, players can only get experience if any match lasts longer than a minute. Formally, the accrual of XP stops after you've activated an action that leads you to victory. After that, even a long chain of effects that continue to be played will not bring you an extra reward. In other words, the XP counter stops before the match ends. This restriction has a very negative effect on players in Mercenaries mode. Let's say you've put together the best grinding build that can win in 1 to 2 turns. In this case, you won't get any experience at all, even though your match can technically last longer than a minute with animations and such.
As we have already said, uneven rewards may be due to the low win rate in ranked modes, so the developers decided to increase the rewards for our efforts. But an important advantage of ranked modes is the seasonal ranked rewards that create additional value. As we know, Battlegrounds is getting its own progression system very soon. We feel the need to create seasonal rewards in Duels, Wild, and Classic. Achieving a high rank in 3 traditional formats at the same time is an extremely difficult task. It would be great if players who rank well in different modes would receive a separate pool of rewards.
Wild players especially need additional wild packs, since free resources are not enough to replenish the collection of several modes at the same time. The same goes for the Duels mode. The mode is quite expensive, while fighting for rating numbers is a pointless exercise. Even a measly rating reward would be a good incentive.
Let's move on. Many players are sure that the rewards track brings players much more gold. Our calculations refute this.
During the Alterac Valley phase, the overall level of our community was about 184 on the rewards track. So on average, players received 9,800 gold. For a player without the Tavern Pass, to reach this level, it's necessary to play ranked for about an hour each day, or almost an hour and a half if you play other PvP modes. In addition, you have to complete at least 50% of achievements. The old system allowed all players to receive about 7,000 gold and 4 classic packs for completing quests, as well as 1,600 gold coins an hour of daily play under the same conditions. Thus, players could receive about 8,600 gold. At first glance, the advantages are obvious, but don't forget about the mini set, which creates additional expenses each expansion.
Thus, the rewards track brings players 800 coins less net profit, while forcing them to complete additional weekly tasks and grind achievements, as well as playing much longer if you prefer other modes. Technically, you get more gold, but the game now requires significantly more investment. Despite this, the balance of free resources for players of ranked modes is not broken. These players get even more useful resources on the track, but for more actions. The situation with fans of other PvP modes is worse. If you still believe that the new system brings you more gold, then ask yourself, are you buying a mini set or a tavern pass with real money? If not, you may be spending more time in the game or using an AFK grind.
We consider the following shortcoming features of the system. Hearthstone has a disproportionate reward for effort. Let's look at 2 scenarios. One of the players plays every day for a week, while spending an hour in the game. This allows him to gain almost 16,000 XP. The other player only plays once a week, and completes all available tasks in just an hour. In this case, he will receive almost 9,500 XP. In other words, in the first case, the player has invested 7 times more effort, but the amount of his benefit is less than twice as much. This is convenient for casual players, but at the same time is extremely unfair to players who spend a lot of time in the game.
The ways to get the full collection for free are the same as the old system. To get the full collection of 3 expansions of 1 year, you need to play non-stop for more than 3 months. You must spend almost 7 hours in ranked games every day. In other words, you have to give Hearthstone half of your active life. This is ridiculous.
Players who spend a lot of time in Hearthstone should definitely receive more rewards. This would significantly reduce the time it takes to get a full collection. In fact, there aren't that many players that actually grind this much. Among our subscribers, only 15% of players spend more than 2.5 hours in the game every day. The rewards for these players are highly unfair and unbalanced. The rewards track has a huge number of options to help improve the time to effort ratio for this group of players. They just haven't. These people are the most dedicated fans of Hearthstone, but nothing has happened to help them.
Such a low reward for time invested convinced us of the need for additional bonuses. We consider the introduction of an XP battle boost, which increases rewards for the time spent in the game, to be extremely important.
Here is a small example. When a Nazdormu day happens, it's hard for me to find an opponent to activate a super fast match. Most players discard this card from their deck after completing the quest. If the developers implemented an XP battle boost, they could offer a passive experience boost for playing with Nazdormu all day long. This would be a good incentive to use Nazdormu in more games, meaning you would have very fast matches much more often. What's more, XP battle boost can be used in a huge number of scenarios. It does not create excess benefits but is a good incentive for action.
In our last year video, we talked in detail about this and other ideas that could significantly expand the possibilities of rewards track, but unfortunately Blizzard is not interested in improving the system.
The progression system has another, not fully disclosed function. Achievements in Hearthstone are generally a useless collection of numbers, statistically speaking. The game has never rewarded the true fans of the game who've remained loyal for years. Achievements could be a way to fix this, as special achievement rewards could reward players who've completed a large number of activities or have spent a lot of time in the game.
Rewards are the best motivators for action. Blizzard could offer exclusive cosmetics, upgradable card backs and upgradable portraits that get better, all the way to a diamond design. They could even offer 1% permanent battle XP boost for every year spent with the game. Every year cosmetic rewards could improve more and more. This would be a great way for Blizzard to reach out specifically to fans who spend a lot of time in Hearthstone and thank them for their continued dedication and engagement.
Cool rewards would be a great incentive to follow achievements like breadcrumbs and explore different aspects of the game. But Blizzard ignores these features. Moreover, the developers claim that they do not want to turn achievements into currency, which means that we most likely should not expect any rewards in the future.
The main advantage of Hearthstone as a platform is the different ways to play, and tons of new content. But weekly quests, and the quest chains during events, force players to do things they hate. This is a very bad design. The developers use this strategy to get you to move between modes and taste new content.
Good platform for different games should offer players new ways to diversify their leisure time without forcing them to take even more action or do the most meta thing. Quests should be less focused on specific modes. Every player should have their choice to complete tasks in the way that they prefer. The best way to do this could be implementing some sort of battle boost, something that gives a passive bonus to XP for a certain mode during a certain period in an update.
Also, this method can be used every week, increasing experience for playing in random modes during the weekend. This approach does not create significant advantages. The player will not lose anything if he refuses this offer.
And this is not all the shortcomings of the current progression system. The system is able to solve, in a very simple way, a huge number of old problems.
But in its current form, rewards track is just a more convenient version of the old system.
Just imagine that you have a very cool electric scooter that doesn't have a battery and you have to just use your foot to move. This is how we assess the current state of the progression system in general.
Unfortunately, we have to admit that rewards track was a huge disappointment for us and we cannot believe that we were so naive. In addition, players' misconceptions about the progression system further exacerbate the situation.
With each new expansion, we lose faith that things will ever change.
Okay, that's all for today.
Can't wait to hear all your guys' opinions. Should we hope that Blizzard will ever fix the shortcomings of the reward track? Are you satisfied with the current state of the progression system? Please take part in our survey on the community tab and leave your opinions in the comments. We love to read them.
As always, we would like to express our huge gratitude to our patrons.
Dear friends, your support is incredibly important to us. Dear viewers, thank you for being with us.
We hope to be able to get in touch in the future.
With even more data and math.
Take care of yourself.
And good luck.
Job's done.